Hi, welcome to Virtual CB1A. This is Miss Rena, and this is week 2, lecture 2 of Mathematics in the Modern World. We are going to continue talking about the language of mathematics. We have the same learning objectives at the end of this lecture. You should know how to discuss the language, symbols, and conventions in mathematics, and also evaluate mathematical expressions. On our last lecture, I gave you an exercise. Determine if the given phrase is an English sentence, noun, mathematical sentence, or expression. First, we have the word lion. Next, the sentence, the lion is brave. Next, 2x plus 1. 3 plus 3 is equal to 0. And finally, we have the word monkey. So these are the key to correction. Oops. May tunog. First, we have noun. Next, the lion is brave is an English sentence. 2x plus 1 is an expression. 3 plus 3 is equal to 0 is a mathematical sentence. We have two sides. The left-hand side and the right-hand side separated by the equal sign. So this is a complete mathematical sentence. And finally, we have the word monkey, which is just a noun. Moving on to our topic, numbers and expressions have lots of different names. Just like English words, numbers can have a lot of other names. In English, we call words having the same meaning as synonyms. For example, the word big can have other names such as large, huge, gigantic, or enormous, just to name a few. The idea of having different name of term for a specific object plays a fundamental role in mathematics. Let's go back to the definition of expression. Na-discuss na natin to from part 1. It is, an expression is the mathematical analog of an English noun. It is a correct arrangement of mathematical symbols used to represent a mathematical object of interest. You have to take note, an expression does not state a complete thought. In particular, it does not make sense to ask if an expression is true or false. Meron lang tayong value, truth value, for mathematical sentences and English sentences. Kasi sila lang yung may complete thought. Pag expression or noun, hindi mo sila pwedeng i-categorize whether they are true, false, or sometimes true, sometimes false. Expressions and sentences are totally different entities. They don't overlap. If something is an expression, then it is not a sentence. And if something is a sentence, then it is not an expression. Please take note of that. Now, what kinds of expressions are there? From our graph, from part 1, there are many types of expressions in mathematics. We have numbers, sets, functions, ordered pairs, matrices, and vectors. Now, sabi natin kanina, numbers and expressions can have different names. Lagyan natin ng example. The number 5 can have a lot of other names. For example, 1 plus 4, 10 divided by 2, 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, and 7 minus 2. Now, can you give me other names for 5? Please leave a comment on our comment section. I will appreciate your answer. So, babasahin ko talaga siya. So, let's go to the next part. Give a name for the numbers that would be appropriate in each situation. 6 chocolate bars must be equally divided among 3 people. How are you going to represent that? Using numbers. Next, we have 300 pesos must be divided into 6 people. And finally, you need 3 cups of flour, but only 1/2 cup measuring tool is available. So, paano mo sila i-represent? For number 1, 6 chocolate bars, pwede natin siya i-represent by 6 divided by 3. So, 6 here are the chocolate bars, and then 3 here, our divisor, is the number of people. For number 2 naman, we have 300 pesos must be divided into 6 people. So, 300 pesos, next, divided by 6 people. So, this is the representation in symbols and numbers. And finally, for number 3, you need 3 cups of flour but only 1/2 cup measuring tool is available. Ano yung gagawin natin? We can repeat the process 6 times. So 1/2 cup plus 1/2 plus 1/2 plus 1/2 plus 1/2 plus 1/2, you will end up with 3 cups of flour. Or pwede mo rin naman siya isulat as 6 times 1/2 to denote that you are going to repeat the process 6 times. Now, since you already know how to name expressions and numbers, practice tayo. Give the standard name of 7 in mathematics. So, ang standard name niya in mathematics ay itong symbol na to. For your exercise, please get a pen and a piece of paper and give other names to the number 7 satisfying the given conditions on the next slides. I will post the instructions on the Google Classroom kung paano nyo ipapasa sa akin yung sagot nyo dito sa activity na to. Number 1. Give another name to number 7 using a plus sign. Number 2. Give another name to number 7 using a minus sign. And number 3. Give another name to number 7 using a division sign. Okay? Alright, now let's move forward. Since maraming pangalan yung mga numbers natin sa math, how are we going to decide on the most appropriate name? So, dyan pumapasok yung process ng simplifying expressions or simplifying mathematical sentences. To simplify an expression means to get a different name for the expression that in some way is simpler. Take note, the notion of simpler, however, can have different meanings. Ito yung mga pwede niyang definition. Simple means fewer symbols. Pwede rin namang fewer operations. Pwede rin namang better suited for current use. At saka yung preferred style or format. So let's start with fewer symbols. Often, simpler means fewer symbols. For example, 3 plus 1 plus 5 and 9 are both names for the same number. But 9 uses fewer symbols. Isa lang yung symbol na ginagamit natin. Yung pinakang standard name lang ng number na 9 in math. Wala siyang addition sign at saka wala siyang ibang numbers na involved. Next, pwede rin naman na fewer operation. If you still remember our example from earlier, yung you only have 1/2 cup but you need 3 cups of flour for your recipe. Sometimes, simpler means using fewer operations. Di ba meron tayong dalawang solution kanina, yung 1/2 plus 1/2 plus 1/2 plus 1/2 plus 1/2 plus 1/2, which is equal to, excuse me, which is equal to 1/2 times 6. So, among these two, the one with the fewer number of operation ay itong isa, 6 times 1/2. For this, ilang beses tayo gumamit ng plus? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pero dito, isang beses lang tayo nag-multiply. So, this one is simpler, 6 times 1/2. Another example, 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. And 6 times 2 are both names for the same number, but the latter uses fewer operations. Baka pumalito ha. If you see numbers inside the parenthesis, tapos there is a number beside it, outside, that means the operation is multiplication. Ito naman, yung dot natin dito, ito pong blue na tuldok, between 6 and 2, this is also a symbol for operation. And so is yung pang-elementary math natin, yung x na operation, this will also correspond to multiplication operation. So, 6 times 2, 6 dot 2, tsaka 6, open and close parenthesis, 1/2, pare-parehas po silang representation ng multiplication. Pero, lahat naman valid. So are both names for the same number but the latter uses fewer operations. Okay. Next, better suited for current use. In some cases, simpler means better suited for the current use. For example, in terms of conversion, 1 foot over 12 inches is a great name for the number 1. Kasi 1 foot over 12 inches will correspond to the value 1 unit lang, 1. But since we are talking about measurements, if we need to convert units of inches to units of feet, this will be a better representation instead of just writing the single symbol 1. Next, example, 2 over 4 is equal to 2 fourths. Sometimes you will be required to express your answer in lowest terms. So, generating equivalent fractions tayo, pero lowest terms yung mas preferred usually kapag ka ipepresent nyo na yung final answer. Though 2 fourths is equivalent to 1 half, they are both names for the same number, but people usually prefer the name 1 half. It is said to be in the reduced form, simplest form, or commonly known then as lowest terms. Okay? Now, ideas regarding sentences. Sentences have verbs. If we read 3 plus 4 is equal to 7, then it's easy to hear the word, the verb. Ano yung verb natin dito? Ayan siya, is equal to. But what if they are represented as symbols? So, kung babasahin natin siya aloud, 3 plus 4 is equal to 7. Therefore, yung symbol natin dito na equal sign, yun ang verb natin. Okay? This is a tip. If you find it difficult to determine what the verb is in a given sentence, read it aloud para marinig nyo kung ano yung verb. Okay? Isa pang example, 3 is less than 8. Ano dito yung verb natin? So the verb is the symbol less than. Isa pa, 3 plus 1 is greater than 0. So, ano yung verb natin dito? Si greater than. Isa pa. X plus 1 is greater than or equal to negative 3. Ayan. Ito naman siya. Si is greater than or equal. Siya naman yung verb natin. Okay? Let's move to the next slide. Ay, naulit ko siya. Ay, activity pala to. Okay, so circle the verbs in the following sentences. Simulan natin sa English na sentence. The capital of Philippines is Manila. Next, the capital of Philippines is Paite. Next, 3 plus 4 is equal to 7. Next, 3 plus 4 is equal to 8. Okay, what will be the verbs in the following sentences? So, for the capital of Philippines is Manila. So, that is is. The capital of Philippines is Paite. Again, is. What about 3 plus 4 is equal to 7? So, equal. 3 plus 4 is equal to 8. Edi 8. Okay? So, isa pang activity. Di ba sabi natin, if we have mathematical sentences, we can determine the truth value. So, pwede natin siyang i-classify kung true, false, o kaya sometimes true or sometimes false. Yung same na given natin kanina, yun na lang din ulit yung gamitin natin. The capital of Philippines is Manila. Okay, this is true. Very good. The capital of Philippines is Paite. Is this true or false? Alright, this is false. Next, 3 plus 4 is equal to 7. Again, this is true. And finally, 3 plus 4 is equal to 8. This is false. Now, let's move forward to the next slide. I want you to consider the conversation in a car below. Sabi ni Carol, turn left. Nagda-drive kasi sila. Sabi ni Bob, I didn't hear you. Left? Sabi ni Carol, right. So, this is the question. Which way will Bob turn? If he interprets right as the opposite of left, then he will turn right. Pero if he interprets right as correct, then he will turn left. Nakaka-confuse, di ba? So, when it comes to mathematics, hindi siya kasing confusing ng English. There is much less ambiguity allowed in mathematics than in English. The primary way that ambiguity is avoided is by the use of definitions. So, by defining words and phrases, it is assured that everyone agrees on their meaning. So, balik tayo kay mathematical sentence. We learned from part 1 that it is the counterpart of an English sentence. Diba? So, let's look at this sentence. Ayan. Himay-himayin na natin sila. So, the sentence, 1 plus 2 equals 3 is stated below. So, for the left-hand side, we have an expression 1 plus 2. And then they have a verb equal. And then another expression on the right-hand side, we have 3. So, this makes up our sentence. Ano yung silbi ni plus? Anong tawag natin sa kanya? If we already know that these are expressions, this is the verb, anong tawag mo kay plus? Yung operation natin. So, plus is what we call the connective. So, if equal is the verb, then plus is the connective. So, a connective is used to connect objects of a given type to get a compound object of the same type. So, si 1, this is an expression. Si 2, another expression. Pag isinama natin si 5, magkakaroon na tayo ng compound na expression. So, they are connected by the symbol plus. And it will give a new value of 3. When it comes to English, these are some of the examples. Turtle and monkey. Si turtle, noun. Si monkey, noun. Si and yung connective. Turtle and monkey, we have compound noun. Dito naman, we have expression 1, expression 2, connective, plus, magkakaroon tayo ng compound expression 1 plus 2. Next. Alright, now let's talk about variables or unknowns. In mathematics, we also use variables or letters in place of a value that is unknown and yet to be found out. We often use letters such as A, B, C, X, Y, and Z. Ito, gamit na gamit to, si X at saka si Y. In math, we will often encounter problems that will require us to use variables in place of the value that we have to find out. For example, the sum of twice a number and 6 is 14. So, paano natin siya isusulat? Using verbs, nouns, expressions, and sentences in mathematics. So, pagka nakita na natin tong word na sum, automatically, ma-associate na natin siya sa symbol na plus, diba? Tapos, twice a number, ibig sabihin, dalawa, 2. Tapos si a number, hindi natin siya alam. Kasi a number lang siya, hindi mo siya pinangalanan. So, unknown siya. Pwede tayong gumamit ng isang variable from A, B, C, X, Y, Z, or any letter na gusto nyong gamitin sa English alphabet or Greek alphabet, kayo bahala. Since sabi ko nga, gamit na gamit si X and Y, gamitin na lang ulit natin si X. So, to represent the unknown number, let's use here X. Paano si end? Diba, the sum of twice a number and actually, this plus here, we were told that we are going to use a connective kasi meron tayong end. Yung specific na connective na gagamitin natin was determined by this word here, sum. Okay? Next, 6. 6 will be the symbol 6. And 14, okay, nakasymbol na siya. Ngayon, i-arrange natin siya to make a mathematical sentence. So, the sum, meron tayong plus of, sino yung dalawang ilalagay natin na expression para magkaroon tayo ng compound na expression. So, we have twice, dalawang beses daw ng isang number x. So, dalawang beses na isang number x. Pwede siyang x plus x, kasi dalawang beses siya, or 2x. Kaya nilagay natin dito, 2x. Okay? Plus, twice a number and 6, plus 6. Ayan. Tapos meron tayong isa dito, si is. So, si is ay verb. Ang verb natin ay equal to 14. So, we have 2x plus 6 is equal to 14. Or the sum of twice a number, unknown number, and 6 is equal to 14. Okay? Alright. Now, let's have more exercises. Convert the following problems into mathematical sentences. Siguro gagawin ko yung 1 and 2, tapos kayo na yung bahala dun sa number 3. Sulat nyo sa comment yung sagot nyo dito. We have 2 less than thrice a number. Tawagin natin itong exercise B. Ayan, exercise B. Para, dalawa na yung pinapasagutan ko sa inyo sa comment ha. Yung isa, pangalanan nyo yung number na 5. Yun ang exercise A. Tapos ito si exercise B. Sulat nyo sa comment yung sagot. 2 less than thrice a number is 12. So, we have here the symbol 2. Pag sinabi nating less, automatically, we will associate it with the number or with the symbol subtraction. And then, thrice. Pagka sinabing thrice, associated na siya with 3. A number, this is unknown. Gawin natin siyang x. Is 12. So, we have equal. Tapos, we have 12 na nakasymbol na. So, this is going to be in the right-hand side. So, sulat natin siya. 2 less than thrice a number. Baka malito kayo dito, isulat nyo siya as 2 minus 3x is equal to 12. This is wrong. Why? Kasi, so 2 less than, ima-minus mo siya out of 3x, the unknown. So, dapat ito yung minuend natin, 3x, and then babawasan mo siya ng 2. 2 less than, thrice a number, less than 2, minus 2. Okay? And now, this is going to be the end of our lecture for language of math. Again, dito ko kinuha yung idea ng lecture natin ngayon from Dr. Carol Burns. Her work is posted in this website, onemathematicalcat.org. And, ang tagal na discussion natin. See you next time. Bye!